They're coming into a first-time start, and they're away to a first-timer on the stand side. Freddie goes right up there with Super Sweet and Major Hitch. Major Hitch is the early leader now with Freddie on his inside. April Rose is going up on the outside with Forest Prince not far behind him. And they're coming to the Melling Road already, and it's Freddie on the inside. Popham down, Major Hitch towards the outside, Brown down, then April Rose and Forest Prince and My Gift well up there. And as they cross the Melling Road and come to the first, Freddie on the inside, Popham down in the centre, Brown down and right up there, and Major Hitch on the far side with April Rose and Forest Prince and over to Bob Haynes.
Willow King right up there on the outside, just about landed in the lead, but it's in fact Forest Prince showing just ahead of Irish Day. Willow King right up on the outside, Quinton Bay prominent. I'm looking back to see if there are fallers, and I can't see any at the first as they go over the second, and it's Willow King on the outside of Forest Prince. Then comes L'Empereur, then Irish Day, packed home on the inside as they go to the first of the open ditches. Forest Prince on the inside, but Willow King landed in the lead from well packed. Willow King, Forest Prince, L'Empereur and well packed, and over to Tony Preston.
Yes, and it's still Forest Prince right there on the inside, with Willow King jumping there in the centre, and they all seem to be safely over there, the grey flying wild in the centre, and they're coming on now towards the fence which will be before Beecher's. One fence before Beecher's now, they're coming up to this, a plain brush fence as they come into it. And they seem to be safely over, and it's Willow King there in the centre, for Forest Prince in the blinkers, Harry Black on his outside, and then just coming in behind them is Quinton Bay, and now they're coming up to Beecher's now. They're about, 6 strides from Beecher's as they come in to measure it, and it's Forest Prince in the centre. And Forest Prince safely, Willow King discovers, and there's a faller there on the inside, which I'll give you in a minute, but the others all seem to be safely over as they come on now towards this fence after Beecher's. It is Forest Prince on the inside, with Capino just up behind him, safely over Beecher's this time. And then on the inside comes Freddie, still going easily, with Greek Scholar on his outside. And I see there that number 12, packed home, was a faller. And then Harry Black going well, and coming up behind him. As they come to the canal turn now, it's still Forest Prince who is in the lead. Forest Prince, Capino over second. Then comes Greek Scholar going well on the inside. Freddie's still going very, very steadily. And then just behind Freddie comes Val Louis and Harry Black. Then comes Gale Force 10. And then getting going again on the outside is Willow King, and they're going over Valentine's. The field's still going on. There only seem to be 2 or 3 fallers at this stage, and Bowlbury way back to the back of the field. Going on now towards the 8th fence. Forest Prince still the leader, Greek Scholar with Michael Scudamore going up on his inside, Capino just behind him, and then comes Quinton Bay, then Freddie's still going easily. They're coming up now towards this next plain fence. And Greek Scholar in the inside, Forest Prince just on his outside, Quinton Bay showing just their third. Now they have another ditch to jump before they go on to the racecourse. This next one is the next of the big ditches that they jump. Greek Scholar on the inside. He's going to jump it first, just ahead of Forest Prince. And as they start to stream over that fence, the leaders will already be coming onto the racecourse. And with the lead at this stage being disputed between Forest Prince and Greek Scholar, I return you to Peter O'Sullivan in the grandstand.
Forest Prince first onto the racecourse from Greek Scholar, then comes Capino going easily, then Quinton Bay on the inside of L'Empereur, who's been going strongly, he's still in 5th place. Then comes Harry Black, then the Grey Loving Record, and then Flame Cap and Freddie on the inside. Behind Freddie is Val Louis, then comes Brown Diamond, then Gale Force 10, and behind Gale Force 10 is What a Myth, then comes Major Hitch. Behind Major Hitch is Norther. Now they're levelling up to come to the next fence onto the racecourse, and it's Forest Prince the leader from Greek Scholar on the inside. Then comes Capino, then Quinton Bay, then L'Empereur. Behind them is Harry Black with Flame Cap and Loving Record, and Freddie going the shortest way on the inside with Val Louis just in behind him, and then Gale Force 10. Forest Prince over that one ahead of Greek Scholar, second Capino, third. Fourth was Quinton Bay, fifth was L'Empereur, sixth Harry Black. Then on the outside of Harry Black is Loving Record and Flame Cap, and on the inside is Freddie still going strongly with Val Louis just in behind him, and then Gale Force 10 and Northern. Forest Prince over that, the leader from Greek Scholar over second, Capino's over third, Quinton Bay's over fourth, then comes L'Empereur. Behind L'Empereur is Loving Record, and then comes Freddie and Big George not far behind them. Coming up to the chair now for the only time, and it's the blinkered Forest Prince, just the leader from Greek Scholar on the far side. Forest Prince over from Greek Scholar over second, Capino's over third, Freddie on the far side, then Quinton Bay and Northern and towards the stand side, it's Flame Cack with Lovely Liquid and L'Empereur. Gale Force 10's not far behind him. Brown Diamond coming to Gale Force 10. Game Person fell there, and over the water, it's Forest Prince the leader from Greek Scholar second. Capino is third. Flame Cap is fourth. Freddie's fifth on the inside. Then comes Northern and Loving Record and Gale Force 10. Behind Gale Force 10 is Val Louis, and behind Val Louis is Anglo. Then comes Quinton Bay, who's lost a bit of ground. Behind Quinton Bay is Harry Black. Then Royal Roos, and running down to the Melling Road for the second time to go out into the country, it's Forest Prince disputing it now with Greek Scholar on his inside. Capino is third, Freddie is fourth, Norther's next, Gale Force 10's next on the inside. Then comes Val Louis, Loving Record and Flame Cap on the outside. That's the order as we rejoin Bob Haynes.
And fence 17, they've passed halfway now, and it's Forest Prince in the lead from Greek Scholar, then Capino, then Loving Record, Flame Cap, Freddie on the inside, Val Louis right up there. Gale Force 10 and Northern not far behind them, and Quintin Bay, and on to the next plain fence number 18, and Forest Prince in the lead from Greek Scholar, Capino, Val Louis, Freddie on the inside, the Grey Loving Record, then Flame Cap, then Anglo, which I didn't mention a moment ago, then Northern, then Gale Force 10, Quintin Bay. Then comes Royal Roos, and then Highland Wedding improving, and at the open ditch. And it's Forest Prince in the lead from Greek Scholar, Forest Prince from Greek Scholar on the inside, and then Capino, and over again to Tony Preston.
Yes, and it's still Forest Prince there with the blinkers, his head bobbing up and down as they come into this fence. He is still just the leader, and he's over first. Greek Scholar second, Capino is still third. Highland Wedding making good ground on the inside. And now the next fence that they jump will be the one before Beecher's. They've already jumped it once before, a plain fence, and as they come into it now, Forest Prince and Capino jumps just on his outside, but it's Forest Prince from Capino, and then in third place comes Greek Scholar with Val Louis just behind him. L'Empereur, I think, is still in touch there, and Highland Wedding still beginning to make ground, and now they're coming to Beecher's again, about 6 strides. You can feel them going into it as they come into this fence. Forest Prince is going to jump it first, and he lands safely. Capino, I think, has gone there. Capino, who fell at this fence last year, has gone again, and as they come on now towards this next fence, it's a plain fence out to Beecher's. Forest Prince by about 4 lengths from Freddie, and Highland Wedding on his outside. Anglo jumps up there just on the outside of Freddie, and then comes Quintin Bay, then comes Gale Force 10, and then Loving Record, then the Posso, just going very easily for Cherry Biddlecombe there, right up on the inside. The next is the Cantal turn, and as they come into it, Forest Prince with his blinkered head, he peeps over, turns the corner quickly, and jumped very well on the outside. There was Anglo, and on his inside is Freddie, going very, very easily indeed. These fancied horses going well. The next one is Valentine's. Forest Prince jumps it first. Over second goes Anglo. Freddie looked a little bit tired. Highland Wedding made a mistake on the outside. He's got going again. Quintin Bay is going up. So is Gale Force 10. Just behind Gale Force 10, I can see the Possa still making ground. Then comes Loving Record and Norther, who is still there with a chance. Forest Prince still the leader over this fence. Forest Prince, I would say, by about 2 to 3 lengths from Anglo, showing in second place together with Freddie. Little to choose between these two. Then comes Gale Force 10 and Quintin Bay still improving. Highland Wedding going well on the outside. Forest Prince still just the leader. Anglo jumps in second, and they go on now towards, they've only got, 3 more fences to jump, and the National of 1966 will be over. This is a ditch that they're coming to now. The last ditch that they have to negotiate. Still Forest Prince, who is just the leader. Yes, Forest Prince is the leader. Anglo going up on his outside. Gale Force still 10, still improving. And as they go back onto the racecourse from here, it looks to me as if it's Forest Prince and Gale Force 10, and I return you to Peter O'Sullivan.
Forest Prince first onto the racecourse from Anglo, going very strongly on his inside. Then comes Gale Force 10 and Highland Wedding, and Freddie's just in behind him and making ground. And it's Forest Prince now from the riderless horse. Then comes Anglo, then Gale Force 10 and Highland Wedding, and Freddie being forced to make his run now on the outside. And it's still Forest Prince from the riderless horse. Then comes Anglo on the inside. Freddie moving into third place towards the outer. He's under pressure from Pat McCarran. Pat asking him now for everything he's got. And it's Forest Prince being pressed by Anglo. Anglo going very well on the inside for trainer Fred Winter, who won his first with his first national runner, J. Trump, last year. Anglo looks as though he's going to jump it right upside Forest Prince, and he does. This is the second last, and it's between Anglo and Forest Prince, and Anglo going the strongest now as they come to the last fence of the national. It's between Anglo and Forest Prince with a stand-up. Freddie is third, Gale Force 10 is fourth, and over the last, it's Anglo over first from Forest Prince over second. Freddie's just coming to jump in third. Gale Force 10 is fourth. Then comes Highland Wedding, who's tiring and Vulture, and Anglo is going away from Forest Prince in second place. Freddie is third. Gale Force 10 is fourth. And this is Anglo striding away now to win the national, ridden by Tim Norman, his first ever national ride. Anglo is well clear of Forest Prince and Freddie. These are going to to be the principals, although it's still some way to go. It's Anglo going right away now as they stride up to the line. Freddie is battling on to get into second place as he did last year and up to the line. And Anglo is the winner of the 1966 Nationals. Second is the favourite Freddie, second for the second successive year. Third is Forest Prince. And then coming up to the line, Valtrix.
If these crowds were to be the last to see a Grand National at Aintree, they obviously meant to wring the last drops of enjoyment out of the swan song of the great chase. So did gallant old Tim Durrant, jockey at 66 of outsider Kingpin. And if these were to be the last horses to meet the challenge of this tremendous course, they would make up an historic field. "47 of this generation's greatest riders over the sticks, each nourished the ambition to win the Grand National 1966. Layers and punters alike had their ambition, to finish the afternoon substantially richer than they began it. Miles stood between the destined winner and a place in the Hall of Fame. And first over jump number 1 was Jerry Scott's mount, the well-favoured Forest Prince. The field came over in great style, bunched close on the Prince's heels to the second jump. Trouble here as race readers pick out Freddie, Highland Wedding, Capino, Greek Scholar and the Fossa, all in good order, almost breathing on Forest Prince's tail. Over the third jump. Forest Prince kept his lead, setting a great pace on this soft going. No anxiety at this stage for the supporters of the heavily backed Freddie. The hot favourite was going well, biding his time. He was second last year, and his connection could see no one to beat him on present form. Every rider was poised now to take Beeches, fatal to the hopes of many a great horse in the past. Inconspicuous behind the still leading Forest Prince was the long shot, Anglo, not yet exciting the notice of a crowd still intent on the form of Freddie, Greek Scholar, Capino and others well placed near the canal turn. Over Valentine's Brook, Forest Prince and L'Empereur with Capino, Greek Scholar, Gale Force 10, Valois and Northern. Close to Forest Prince was Greek Scholar, and still going well, L'Empereur, Capino, Freddie and Gale Force 10. Jump 14 with much the same order. All the well-fancied mounts still keeping up the cracking pace. Only one more jump and the first circuit completed. It's the water jump, and no trouble to any of them, though Quinton Bay got his hind feet wet. One circuit of Aintree safely behind them. Forest Prince still led the field, though Greek Scholar and Capino shortened his lead. Great joy to thousands, the favourite Freddie well placed. Backers of Forest Prince, number 6, reckoned he had a great chance now. The speed, the stamina, everything to make a winner if he could stay on his feet. Of them here, Beeches for the second time, and twice the danger it was on the first circuit, to horses that were surely tiring after 3 miles of soft going. Sure enough, Beeches was fatal to the chances of second favourite Watermyth and Capino, whose jockey David Mould was hurt. Way behind the leaders, but improving all the time, was Anglo, the long shot whose jumping and staying power began to surprise everybody. Racing to Valentine's, it was Forest Prince, Anglo, Freddie, Quinton Bay, Gale Force 10 and the Fossa. jump after Valentine's, it was still Forest Prince leading. On the far side, Freddie flattered his backers by seeming tireless. Near the rails, Tim Norman piloted the amazing Anglo in masterly fashion, challenging Freddie as if he were the outsider. Grand National's final jump. Anglo was over ahead of Forest Prince, then Freddie. Less than 500 yards now, and that astonishing horse Anglo seemed to put most of it between himself and the other two. If this was to be the last National at Aintree, he was giving it a grandstand finish. For his lucky backers, Anglo brought home the bacon at 50 to 1. Not many in the crowd cheering horse and rider knew that owner Stuart Levy produces the Carry On films. They did know that for trainer Fred Winter, Anglo was his second Grand National winner running. As for the trophy, nobody stole it. Applause for a great horse, his jockey, trainer and owner. And may we say, carry on Aintree.